Knowledge is power, and power over crypto is what this video is all about. In this video, we will talk about how the FATF and the US government could end crypto, and what you can do to help to avoid that from happening. Make sure to subscribe to our channel and to turn on the notifications so you know when we put a new video out. A disclaimer alert is now in effect. This video is for informational purposes only. We recommend that you always seek professional advice. Let's begin. Number 3. Section 80603. In the United States, an infrastructure bill has passed through Congress and has now moved to the Senate, but not before institutions got the chance to work on an amendment, which is designed to kill the crypto world outright. Now, you might be thinking that because you don't live in the US, this doesn't apply to you, and you could be right. Earlier this year, the crypto market went nuts with the news coming from China and El Salvador, so this too could affect the market. The bipartisan bill is a 2,702-page bill that says it is about infrastructure, but in reality, it is far from it, as there is so much non-infrastructure in this bill. If we were to talk about it all, we might as well go ahead and create a whole new channel. Since everyone in this channel cares about crypto, let's focus on Section 80603, which is the part of the infrastructure bill that is related to cryptocurrencies. You can't make this up. If you want to give it a read, we'll put a link to it in the description below. Even though this bill is said to have been written by Republican Senator Rob Portman, many believe that it was actually written by the office of Janet Yellen, and that makes sense. Yellen and her SEC friends, such as Gary Gensler, are known to hate crypto, especially DeFi. These guys saw an opportunity to get a stronghold on crypto just before it got to the mainstream. But what exactly is in Amendment 80603? Well, the amendment would require new surveillance of all crypto users by forcing developers and creators to comply with it or cease their operations in the US. This is a horrible idea, as it would create honeypots of user information, which would attract all types of hackers and bad actors. Not only that, but it would also create more legal complexity for any blockchain development. Just so you guys have an idea, anyone who owns crypto would have to register as a broker or use a broker to send crypto anywhere. Oh, and let's not forget that coin issuers and miners would also have to register as a broker. This goes against the very nature of crypto itself, as it is meant to be peer-to-peer trustless transactions. In addition to all of this, all the registered brokers would have to be under the securities legislation of the SEC and the tax reporting of the IRS. Names, addresses, and transactions would have to be reported to the IRS and the SEC, as well as DEXs, and anything that is DeFi related would be under their jurisdiction and subject to their reporting, fines, and fees. Every single customer of Uniswap, Coinbase, and anyone who you send crypto to would be subjected to this, which means that if you mess up with any of these transactions, you will get fined, audited, and possibly have all of your crypto confiscated. Moreover, your personal information would all be stored centrally at either the IRS, SEC, or some other government agency, which is extremely worrying. The US government has been the subject of so many hacks that it is actually hard to keep up with it. So how would you feel if you had to give your private keys and info in? This is scary stuff. However, it is still considered to be child's play compared to what we have for you in our next point. Number 3. FATF. The Financial Action Task Force, or FATF, was created by the G7 countries in 1989. Today, the FATF consists of 40 countries and over 30 international organizations, including the World Bank, the International Monetary Fund, and the United Nations. The FATF's original purpose was to prevent money laundering in most major economies around the world. However, just like any other government operation, its scope has only expanded since then. Following on from the news that Facebook was planning to launch the Libra stablecoin back in 2018, the FATF adopted an open-ended mandate the following year. According to the FATF website, this mandate is to combat any threats to the integrity of the international financial system. As the goal of cryptocurrency is to replace this financial system, it is no surprise that the FATF has been closely watching crypto since 2019. Soon after the new mandate, the FATF decreed that all virtual asset service providers must collect KYC on all their users as per their travel rule. FATF's travel rule requires that any sender or recipient of any transaction above a certain amount be identified, all in the name of anti-money laundering. As part of its decree, FATF gave 1 year to all countries and crypto companies to comply with the travel rule. At the end of 2019, former FATF President Zhengman Liu singled out stablecoins as the greatest threat to the financial system, stating that they could lead to the end of regulated middlemen. Mr. Liu not only has ties to CCP, but he also seems to be the one that spearheaded the FATF's initiative to develop a framework for digital identities in early 2020. What could go wrong? In mid-2020, we have seen countries and crypto companies slowly complying with FATF's travel rule by implementing KYC and integrating with crypto transaction tracking firms such as CIPHERTRACE and Chainalysis. In the end of 2020, the US Financial Crime Enforcement Network and the Federal Reserve pushed the FATF to lower the travel rule restriction amount from $3,000 to just $250. Of course, things didn't improve in 2021, and as you probably have guessed, most of the backlash we have seen in crypto this year is just a continuation of the so-called recommendations made by the FATF in 2019. The FATF has international influence, and that is because if any country doesn't comply, it's put on the grey list, or even the blacklist. Under international law, the FATF's blacklist may have no formal sanctioning power, but if a country is placed on the FATF's blacklist, it often finds itself subjected to intense financial pressure. This means that the FATF's recommendations have the power to supersede any national laws and can undermine any democratic process which these laws went through to be created. On top of this, FATF's constituents are unelected, mostly unknown, and are also guaranteed special privileges, aka they don't obey the same rules that we do. A great example of this financial pressure can be seen in El Salvador, as the country is receiving enormous scrutiny from the same countries that compose the FATF since its adoption of Bitcoin. However, the reason that many other countries are not in the same situation is because the recommendation of the FATF's travel rules are not clear, as well as the fact that they have been constantly changing these guidelines in order to keep up with the technology that's being developed, such as DeFi. The FATF was supposed to finalize its recommendations for the travel rule in July, but because of the pandemic, its members voted to extend this deadline to October later this year. We can expect things to change. Don't worry though. Cryptocurrencies won't be banned because of these recommendations, nor will any other technology that doesn't need intermediary regulators and preserves privacy. Instead, the FATF will classify such technology as high risk, pressure exchanges to delist any crypto privacy coins, and encourage them to request for personal information for all funds that originate from P2P transactions. It is possible that any high-risk users will eventually be banned from vast platforms, and if you think DeFi wouldn't be included so you could just stick with them, well, you are wrong. The FATF definition of a VASP is broad enough to include any crypto companies and even individuals which are building dApps. This might even be the reason why Uniswap Labs has been delisting tokens from its decentralized exchange interface. The worst part is that this high regulatory threshold will make it very hard for smaller crypto projects to comply, and it could even create a barrier too big for new ones to emerge. All of this sounds horrible and may even make you want to sell your crypto. But just like everything else in life, there is a plus side to this. We can help you prepare for the worst case scenario, which takes us to our next point. Number 1, the solution. Given that we still have some time until the Senate and the FATF, well, F things up, there are things that we can do to protect ourselves and to maybe even change the course that things are taking. Things are very unlikely to happen overnight, and history suggests that FATF's recommendations will take a very long time to implement. Stablecoins are likely to be the first ones to take the fall, as they are the ones that pose the greatest threat to the integrity of the existing financial system, according to the FATF. We suspect that all stablecoin issuers will have to collect KYC for any accounts holding their tokens, which could be easy to do since most stablecoins are centrally controlled. Moreover, look at your crypto portfolio and see if there is any risk of one of your holdings getting wrecked by regulators. Watch out for cryptos which are too similar to a security, such as a stock or a company that won't be able to comply with the KYC requirements. If you do own such crypto, it might be wise to consider selling them. If this crypto hits a new all-time high price during this period, reallocate your profits to coins which are supported by institutions and corporations, as they are more likely to survive the purge. If you live in the United States, there is something you may be able to do that could change the course of Amendment 80603. Call your senator. Email them too, although calling is a better course of action as it is harder to be ignored. We will leave a link in the description below to help you find your senator. If you live outside of the US, be active on social media. However, above all, be nice and polite. Know that most of the people that you're contacting know nothing about crypto. Use the information we put in the descriptions to get your facts right. And as always, do your own research, as this is your chance to bring them to our side. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you like this video, please smash that like button and subscribe to our channel so you won't miss any important updates and analysis of the crypto world. See you guys next time. Take care.